Hey everybody, Z Garcia here, and today I'm taking a look at the app version of Imperial Settlers Roll and Write. Imperial Settlers Roll and Write has two ways to play. That is the physical game. You can play a solitaire mode in which you go through different scenarios, different collections of buildings trying to get the highest score possible. Or you can play multiplayer in which everyone has the same buildings and you are going to be rolling dice, drafting special abilities for that turn only, and then utilizing those dice to, again, unlock various things, give yourself unique abilities, or at least your own combination of what's available, and ultimately have the most victory points. Now, the app, which is what I'm looking at today, only has that first thing I mentioned, just that solitaire mode. And to be honest, that's the best thing in the original physical game. I thought the solitaire mode was clever, it was interesting, it was the most distinct part of the entire package. So I think it's great that what they made, what the app is basically that idea, okay? Now, if you don't know what the game is, let me tell you a little bit about it. I'm not going to be cutting to the table for this. We'll just keep it up here. I'll show you some footage. So in the game, you are going to be playing 10 rounds. And at the end of those 10 rounds, you're trying to have the highest score possible. The app will rank you, and you'll get a number of crowns. With those crowns, you can then turn around and unlock new settings, let's call it, new combinations of buildings to give you a different play feel, new abilities. And so every round begins with you rolling one die for actions. It's going to show you a number of little characters, 3, 4, 5 characters. Those are the actions. And then 3 dice that have resources on them. You'll have food, stone, wood. You also have gold, which is wild, and any of the other 3. Then you're going to be using those resources and the number of actions you have to unlock various things. You can cross one thing off for every action you have. Some are free. Some just cost the actual crossing off of something. Some require you to spend 2 wood. So if you have 2 wood, you can cross one thing off. And once you have run out of actions, you are done. Or if you choose to end early, you are done. Now, once you've unlocked a building, and the buildings might take 1 stone, 1 wood, and 1 just regular, no resource needed action. So if you go boom, 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 that building's available to you, and now you have whatever the ability is that it gives you. Maybe it gives you 1 wood at the beginning of every round, a free one. Here's the thing. As you are opening up these lanes that you are progressing on, and they progressively give you more and more victory points, you're also opening up space to construct those buildings. So that building I was just talking about, if you've already unlocked it, you're getting that 1 wood every turn. But if you also build that building, you're getting 2 wood. And if you build another copy of it, now you're getting 3 wood, and so on. So that's what you're doing. You are unlocking things over 10 rounds. You are, making check marks, basically, utilizing what you've got. Now, the original physical release of this had, in my opinion, one pretty nasty flaw, out of the box anyway. And that is, there's too much going on to keep track of it all just mentally. So if I have 2 food, 3 stone, 1 gold, and 5 actions, there was no way for me to track how many actions I've taken. If my first action was to harvest something, I'm like, okay, now I've got 2 more stone on top of what I had. And now I'm going to burn 3 stone. And now, how much gold did I have? That. You had to do all of that just in your mind. There was no way to track any of this. And so the app fixes, right out of the gate, the one big issue I had with the original game. Now you'll say, Z, every app does that. They all keep track of, what you need to, what you have. That's true. But not every game that app came from needed it so badly. And in this one, it needed it so badly, it was readily apparent right out of the gate. So right there, that's one thing I think is fantastic. That the game is much more user-friendly and usable because it's an app implementation. I also like that you are going to be, of course, using new combinations of buildings, new ideas, to try to figure out what the best puzzle should be. You can run through it in about 8 minutes or so. Maybe this time you focused on this one building, your score wasn't so good. Next time you just fire it up right away again, and now you go for a very different strategy. Maybe that's better, maybe it's worse, but you get to try again right away. In the original game, you had a pad of paper, and each sheet was a one-shot, attempt at that scenario, let's call it. So again, the app has a leg up on the physical version, in my opinion. A few other things, okay? The favorite tokens, the game picks 3 randomly from all of the available ones. This is something I thought when I played the original game. It's something that holds true. I think they're not all equally interesting, and that's fine when players are playing multiplayer and therefore drafting those things. They don't have to be balanced. If we take turns drafting them, just take the best one, and I'll take whatever's left. But in solitaire, sometimes you're stuck with a couple of tokens, or maybe 3 tokens, where you'll make the same choice every time. One is just better than the others. There's one instance that's really apparent where one of them lets you get a resource. Any one resource you rolled, you get another one of that, or 1 gold. Well, 1 gold is any resource, whether you rolled it or not. So you will never pick the other one. So every time you have those 2, if you don't care for the third, it's just like gold, gold, gold. I don't think about it anyway. So there is that. That feels a little underwhelming. The other thing, and the biggest issue I have with the app, overall I really like this app, I think it's super fun, is that the unlocking of content in it is pretty slow. The way it works is you are going to be playing, you'll play a few games, you're going to get some of those crowns, like I said, and then you unlock a new board. After like 3 crowns, you unlock a new one. And then after 5 crowns for the second one. And then 7. And then 10. You don't get crowns any faster, they just get farther out. So I think it's a little slow. It feels a little on the slow side, the way they are divvying out this content. You already paid for the app, but now you have to unlock the rest of these boards, and it does feel a little bit slow to me, okay? So there you go. That's basically what I think of it, but overall I think it's a great app. It's really nicely implemented, good explanation, great animations, good sound effects. Everything works well, it's smooth, it's clear, and ultimately, the most important part, it's engaging. It's a great solo game. So I do recommend this one. I recommend this over the physical game, unless you really liked the idea of going at it, multiplayer. But I'm telling you, I think this is the best part of the game. And this is the best implementation of that part. So this is going to get a 7.5 out of 10 from me. And that's a seal of approval. I definitely, again, recommend you check it out, folks. I think you're going to have a good time with this one. Engaging, interesting, really well done. So that's going to be it for me on Imperial Settlers Roll and Write. 7.5 out of 10. And like I said, I'm Z Garcia. I'll see you on the next one.